Ladies and gentlemen, step right up. Welcome to another episode of the Goonery. We have an awesome guest for you today, Maciek. Sorry, terrible at pronouncing names, but this is Grillin With Dad on Instagram, and a good friend of my dad recommended come on the show and tell us all about your meat.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. It's fun to do these things. So I'm excited to kind of share what I know, answer questions, and just have a good time.
Right on. Uh, Give us a little background. How'd you get started in the grilling industry?
Yeah. So I do this as a hobby, right? So a lot of people think it's kind of a full-time gig. I do have a regular day job, so this is again just a hobby that I do after work and on the weekends. And I started my Instagram page about 3 years ago. Right, I've always kind of enjoyed cooking and grilling, just doing stuff outside, over fire, just kind of messing around with that. And so about 3 years ago, I got a new grill for Father's Day from my wife. And so I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to start an Instagram page to post pictures, recipes, things that I've made so I know, what I made, how stuff worked, if it didn't work or whatever. And for the first couple months, that's all that it was, just pictures, some write-ups, whatever. And then a few months into it, I posted a video of something, and the video, just kind of went somewhat viral, took off, got a whole bunch of views, and I'm like, oh man, that was kind of cool. So then I did another video and another, and the next thing my account started growing pretty fast, and it kind of got to where it is now, with this kind of big for me following, and just it's kind of taken on a life of its own almost. So it's been a pretty fun adventure.
Yeah, you're almost at 200,000 followers. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. And I'm like probably most surprised by it, from everybody, because I never started this page to kind of be where it is now, with no kind of hopes or expectation of it getting to where it is. So everything that's happened because of it has been just a big surprise, really.
Yeah, that's awesome. I hear that story a lot. Never expected it to turn
Yeah.
into like what it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I caught a few of your videos and it looks pretty tasty. Had me hungry. Had to stop and eat something.
Nice.
Uh, what's your favorite meat to handle or cook?
Uh, Man, I get asked that kind of all the time. Probably ribs, I would say. I always like ribs, but I never really was good at making them at home until I got my new grill, the Big Green Egg, and started messing around with different recipes and seeing how other people are doing it. So just something, I don't know, something cool about cooking ribs, getting them kind of sweet, and eating it right off the bone. It's just a fun experience cooking them, and even better eating it. So.
Yeah, hell yeah. Got a few more questions for you. Okay, so with the rib, I mean, obviously it's fall off the bone.
Yeah.
What are your cooking methods, or like what do you think like stands out about your videos that?
So I think because I do this as a hobby, right? Kind
Yeah,
of, it's something that I do outside of work. So I'm not a professionally trained chef. I'm not some renowned pit master. So the stuff that I do is very kind of approachable. So like if I can do it, anybody can do it. That's kind of how I make my videos. Is they're super easy to follow, simple ingredients, easy methods. So I think that's why people like it, because they see it and they're like, oh man, that actually looks pretty easy how he did that. So I'm going to try doing it at home myself. I don't overcomplicate things. Like if something's like out of the league for me, I won't even do it. I do stuff that I can handle, so I know others can do it too.
yeah. And I forget, how did you learn?
Yeah, just kind of trial and error,
Yeah,
just I think Instagram and just social media has been a good place to learn a lot of this stuff, because you see other people doing it. I had a chance to meet a whole bunch of people, and you ask them questions, what they like about, certain grills or certain methods or how they do things. And you kind of pick up little bits and pieces from everybody. And then you kind of make your own style of how you do stuff and kind of work on it and, get it better every time. So.
right on. With your ribs, are you big sauce guy too?
I am, and I am, for ribs, I am a big sauce guy. For some other cuts, not so much, but ribs, I always like to kind of get them sauced up. I like using even like a kind of a sweet and spicy sauce. Um, I've always kind of liked that combo. My kids love it. My wife loves it. So it's an easy thing for us to make because I can make it one way and everybody, everybody will eat it. So
Yeah, right on. Um, okay. So I got to know, if you're grilling a steak, like what's like the rule of thumb that everyone should follow?
steaks are not that hard, or I shouldn't say are not as hard as people think they are. A lot of times people will message me saying, "Hey man, I got this expensive steak, or I want to buy this expensive steak, but I'm afraid that I'm gonna kind of mess it up or ruin it." And I mean, you can't really ruin it. If anything, you might maybe overcook it a little bit, but it's still gonna be pretty good. So the biggest thing that I learned kind of from all this from the past couple of years is cooking to temperature, right? Especially if you're cooking steak, you got to know what that internal temperature is so that way you never overcook it. If you kind of go by guess, or a lot of people do like where they poke it, and like, oh,
Yeah,
if it feels like this part of your hand, then it's medium, and this is like medium rare, and
you just
but that I
jab it
mean
with
like
a thermometer.
yeah. So but that's kind of guessing. So you just use a thermometer and you know exactly where it's at. So
What's the rule of thumb? 160.
no, for steaks, also depends for what temperature, right? If you're going for like a medium, like a nice kind of a pinkish inside, like
Well, I don't know
135.
who's ordering a medium.
Yeah, so medium rare is going to be below that, but I don't know. It just kind of depends, really. But that's the thing. Like when you do this stuff at home, is you can kind of practice and try stuff and find out how you like it. If you go to a restaurant and you order, you're kind of going by how they do it. But if you do it yourself, you can really kind of do it perfect every single time because you know what you like, right?
Yeah. Have you, when you're dining at a restaurant, and if it's like not up to like good standards, would you send it back?
No, I don't think I'd ever do that. I don't know, just too much. Like you kind of think about like when you send stuff back and like from the movies and talking to people, like what might happen to that plate when it goes back. So unless it's just really bad or it's just unedible, but I've never had that happen. Like sometimes stuff will get maybe overcooked a little bit or whatever, but it's still okay.
For all those young, Instagram hopefuls out there that you know are interested in growing a page, what's your production method? What's
It's
working for you?
it's really so videos are number one, right?
Yeah,
You got to do videos are what make pages grow. Like Instagram will push video content out to more people, so more people see it, and more likely you're going to get a follower out of that view. I mean, pictures are okay too. Like if you're scrolling and see a nice picture, but if you show somebody kind of how to do something or a little bit more than just a photo, that's how you're going to get a follower, right? You got to give somebody a reason to follow you. Either you're showing them how to do something or you're doing something they haven't seen before. That's how you're going to get your followers. If you just kind of do the same stuff that everybody else is doing, then you
yeah.
just kind of fall into the sea of everybody else, and you just, you won't grow. But videos are key in being consistent, right?
I've
Like
noticed.
Instagram,
Yeah,
yeah, like Instagram isn't really that easy, but you got to push out content like every single day
yeah.
to
It's a
kind of keep
grind.
the people, yeah, to keep the people engaged and keep the Instagram machine kind of going and promoting your stuff, because otherwise you'll just lose your followers just as quickly as you gain them. So it's an effort, man. It takes some time and planning to get it right, and kind of once it gets up to a certain level to then continue doing it, so it kind of keeps where it's at.
Yeah. Uh, do you hashtag your meats?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of use like a standard set for like grilling, barbecue, and like whatever it is that I'm making, if it's chicken
Yeah,
or brisket or whatever.
yeah.
But I mean, hashtags help. That's how like, people know, like if they look for something, right, that's how they'll find you. But I don't go overboard with them. I've heard that that's kind of bad too. If you just spam your posts with like 30 hashtags that are not related to what you're doing. So
Right on. What what's your signature? What are you known for?
known for, I think I do mostly like chicken stuff, like chicken videos, like different ways of cooking chicken. That's why I think people will like to follow my stuff too because it's such a versatile protein and anybody can get it and it's inexpensive. Like it's cool to do like an expensive steak or an expensive cut, but if you can kind of keep chicken interesting and unique, I think that's a cool way of getting people to follow you along because it's something that anybody can get at the store.
Yeah, I think one of the first posts I went to on your page was the chicken quesadilla.
Okay.
It
Yeah, yeah.
looked pretty tasty.
Yeah, I don't know, it's kind of fun. It's fun to kind of, but then on the other hand, once you kind of get to a certain level then or a certain point on your page or your kind of cooking thing, it's hard to come up with new ways of making the same thing, right? Like I can't make the same recipe over and over again because people
Yeah.
are going to drop off. So it's kind of getting those creative juices flowing and coming up with new ways of making a chicken breast or a whole chicken, or
Well,
a
what's
steak.
yeah, what can we expect to see from a creative standpoint?
Yeah,
Keep
I
it
mean, I don't.
fresh.
Right, I know. That's the hardest thing, man. That's why I think the kind of cooking and grilling community is pretty supportive on Instagram and social media in general. So people are, helping out. If somebody thinks of something new, they'll kind of tell others how they did it or they tried a new method. So then other people try it. So you all kind of learn from, I guess we all learn from each other to see what people did. So.
You ever get any trolls in your
Oh yeah, I mean that's like you gotta like if you get like you gotta remember, man, like you can never please everybody with cooking or with really anything. I think on social media there's always going to be somebody who like says, oh, that's one guy will say on a steak, oh, that's overcooked, and the other guy you say, oh, that's raw, like oh man, you don't know how to cook a steak. That thing's still like breathing, and then the guy below him says, no man, that shit's overcooked, and you're like, what? Like what?
Right, right. Yeah, it's a huge
So
problem.
yeah. So, but I don't know, whatever. You just kind of roll the punches, and you can't take stuff too personally. Like I try to be supportive, and like it's awesome when like people engage and they leave comments and you comment
Yeah,
back. But if it's bad or if it's just somebody just being a bully or whatever, you just kind of ignore it and move on.
that
You can't
Goonery, you
let
got
that
to watch
stuff.
out for it.
Yeah, man. You can't get that stuff get to you because you know. But
What's so yeah, what's the future hold for Grillin' with Dad?
I don't know. So I started doing some stuff on YouTube now recently.
Ooh,
I want to
welcome.
do more of that. Yeah, man. It's a little bit more challenging. Like Instagram, it's a 60-second video.
Yeah,
There's no talk. It's just music in the background. It's kind of sped up, so it's quick in and out, and it's done. What
yeah,
I'm doing on YouTube is like full start to finish videos where I'm kind of explaining stuff, and it's hard, at least for me now, to make it interesting and not just kind of too boring. Where I'm just standing there. Okay, now you take this and you put it over here, and like it's I'm kind of working on that now. But I want to do more stuff on YouTube just to kind of provide even more value to people.
yeah. Those videos, those how-to videos, are really handy.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you can, strike a chord with someone and then they
right.
start sharing it, and
Yeah.
yeah, big time. What are your thoughts on my guy Fieri back here?
Yeah, man, I like that. I like that background, man. He's taking you to Flavor Town.
Yeah,
Yeah, man, I like him. I like all that Food Network chefs and stars, and especially him. Like he's just seems like a super down to earth guy, kind of funny, and very approachable. So,
yeah. Do you have a favorite Food Network show?
oh man, I don't really have cable now, so I don't. I don't. I haven't watched. I
Cut the
really
cord.
like. Yeah, I did. We did, man. We did that like a couple of years ago, and it's been great. Really, it's been great. But there used to be a show, The Grill Dads. This
Okay.
was like maybe 2 years ago, and those guys are actually on Instagram, and we became pretty good friends. And I talked to them, and they still do some stuff on Food Network. But they had a cool show where they went to different, I guess similar to what Guy Fieri does with like diners, drive-ins, and dives. But they went to barbecue places and
Yeah,
did like reviews and stuff like that. So that was kind of cool.
yeah. Shoot, I always do this. Have a question on the tip of my tongue, and then I gotta write these down.
All right.
What's your advice to the young bucks out there that are getting into grilling
I don't know. It's
or
just,
cooking?
yeah, I would say to people, and as I get asked that all the time on the page too, like, how do I start doing this, or how do I cook that, or how do I make sure that this comes out good? And I'm like, man, the best way is to just try it. Just
Just try it, trial and
try it. Yeah,
error.
man. Fire up the grill. That's how I learned a lot of this stuff. I mean, like, here's the thing: if you're cooking at home, you're not gonna, like, unless you really just like ruin something. But for the most part, I mean, maybe you'll over season a piece of meat or under season or whatever. You can still eat it and learn from it. So just try it. That's like the best way for any of it. Even like the whole Instagram thing and videos and pictures. So just start posting, start doing stuff, and just kind of see how it goes.
Yeah, yeah. Do you do any competitions?
No, so I've been to competitions, but I never participated. You know, I know guys that
Okay.
do, and it's just a completely different thing, man. It's such a, like, those guys are in the zone when they're competing, because a lot of them, like, it's like their livelihood. You know, like they go to these competitions and that's how they make their money. So they're just like focused, you know, to get stuff perfect, and it's hard because, and like especially like in the barbecue competitions, you turn in your food and like the judge takes one bite of it, right? Like it's like they don't eat the whole plate, man. They just like take one bite and it's win
Right.
or lose.
I've
So it's
always wondered, you know, people that have to wait their turn for their dish to be served. Like, it's got to be cold by then.
right. Yeah, that's the thing. Like I think a lot of it kind of plays into it, what order it goes, and you know how long it's been sitting, and is it, you know, is it still as good as it was fresh or whatever. So
Yeah.
like the competitions are, I don't know. Like I mean, I guess it'd be kind of cool to try it maybe one day, but I like being there and seeing people do it, you know,
Yeah.
just kind of cheering them on and whatever, seeing the process. But I'm more of a just like a backyard barbecue guy.
What state has the best barbecue?
Man, that's a setup question right there.
That's what we do
I don't
here.
know, right? So I think I'm kind of partial to Texas style barbecue, but for some stuff, for beef, right? If I do like beef brisket or beef ribs, it's Texas style barbecue, right? Salt and pepper seasoning, kind of that post oak smoke, really good stuff that way. But then, like when we talked about the ribs, I like sauce on my ribs, so that's like, you know, the Carolina style barbecue, where it's more saucy and just. But I'm more like that for pork.
Yeah.
But I think Texas is still, like, if I were to pick just one, I'd probably go Texas.
What are the big players? Texas, Kansas City, North Carolina.
Yeah. So those are probably the big ones. I think what's happening now is there's a lot of kind of smaller pockets where like barbecue is kind of expanding, like especially from Texas where they build these giant smokers, and there's a place, you know, nearby me that where they have one. They had one shipped from Texas, and they're kind of creating Texas kind of focused barbecue, putting their own spin on it. You know, maybe using a little sauce or some different seasonings. So it's fun to see that happen because it's kind of putting a twist on what you expect from Texas, but it's a little bit different.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, this doesn't sound like you're a big dry rub guy.
Any big what?
A big dry rub guy.
Dry rub? I mean, I mean, I always use dry rub when I cook, but I stick only with dry rub more like on beef, you know.
Okay.
But on like ribs or like pulled pork, I always kind of add the sauce
Yeah.
at the end, you know.
Yeah. Have you heard about the carnivore diet?
Carnivore, is it just like all meat then,
It's
right?
just
Like all pro,
all
yeah.
these people. I first heard it on the Joe Rogan uh, podcast, and they're just talking about eating only meat and having huge health benefits from it.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess I could see that, but I still think having some like greens and stuff, veggies or whatever, right? It's still good for you too. So, but who knows, man? Like it seems like every week there's like a new diet or a new fad or new whatever, right? That people say this is the newest and greatest, and then next week it's no, it's this thing. So
Yeah. Um, yeah, I don't know. the meat, all meat seems like it would be hard on the colon.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
That's you need a
um,
lot of water with that one too.
yeah, yeah, a lot of water, right, for the protein.
Yeah.
I hear these people have to like eat like organs and stuff too. Like they can't just eat like
Oh, like steaks all
muscle
day. Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 'cause
Right.
you
Oh, I
don't get
guess I
all
can
the
see that. Yeah.
nutrients.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the idea is like, like a predator out there
Right. Right.
eating the whole animal.
Everything. Right. Everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
Yeah. No.
Did you see the Tiger King? Speaking of predators.
I did. Yeah. Yeah. That was
Yeah.
you know that was so unexpected when I started watching that. It just kind of pulled me in, and I watched it like start to finish in like 2 days, staying up, all night. Just kind of plowing through it. I'm like, because each episode just kept getting better, and just you never knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a wild ride. You excuse me there. Do you have any other hobbies outside of cooking? Is there anything competing for your attention?
Uh, Man, I don't know. I mean, so cooking and grilling, I guess, is the biggest one. Recently, over the past couple of years, I kind of got more into bourbon and whiskeys. Trying new stuff there, exploring like new distilleries.
Cheers.
There you go. Cheers to that.
It's not a
Uh,
whiskey, but
it's all good. So I like that too. I don't know. And I have 2 kids now, so a lot of my time, if it's not cooking or working, then it's spent with them. So not really a whole lot more time for anything else. You know what I mean?
yeah, right on. I imagine. Kudos to you to manage a hobby and a family and a full-time job and
Right. Yeah. It's keeping me busy. That's for sure.
yeah, right on. Did you want to plug your social real quick for the listeners who've gotten this far?
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, man. For those still kind of listening, man, check me out on Instagram, Grillin with Dad. So it's Grillin_with_dad.
There's no
Same name on.
G in the grilling though. I
That's
made
right,
that
man.
mistake the first time.
No, G. That's right. I keep it street, man. It's Grillin with Dad.
Yeah,
Uh,
we keep it street here too at the Goonery.
that's right. So same thing, same logo and name on Facebook, YouTube now, and also grillinwithdad.com. I'm putting more recipes on the website, so it's still lagging a little bit, but I want to have a lot of my stuff on there too. So yeah, check me out. If there's questions, man, I'm responsive on Instagram and through email or whatever. So people can always shoot me messages, and I'll always get back to them.
Right on. Magic, everybody. Grilling with Dad. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, man. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, appreciate it.